Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel again. So today I made a tutorial about basic body block. So this is it as you're looking at it now. This is the front block and the back block. So for this tutorial you need the following measurements on the screen. You can look at it there and see the measurements that you need, including your shoulder measurements. I forgot to put that. So starting with your pattern paper, you first of all draw the center front. That is the line that you're looking at there at the pattern paper. Then you mark out your measurements, the vertical measurements. You know you have the vertical measurements and the horizontal measurements. You mark first of all from your shoulder to your bust, from your under bust, then your waistline to. I've gone ahead to mark out the lines. Now we are going to, after marking out the lines, we are going to impute our shoulder measurements. So first of all, start with your shoulder slope of 1 inch. Some people use 1.5 each, depending on what works for you. After that, you impute your neck depth. For the front, I always use 3 by 3 measurements, 3 inches by 3 inches. After marking the points, I go ahead and mark out the shoulder measurements. My shoulder is 16 inches and unfold. Because this is unfold, I'll mark it as 8 because I'm doing only for the front now. So I'll now go ahead and draw out the shoulder line, stopping at the neck depth. I'm marking out the shoulder line. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, fashion videos and other videos too. Thank you. You are encouraging me by doing that. So using your curve, you mark out your neck depth. Mark out your neck depth. That's what I'm doing here, as you can see in the video. Guys, the basic body block is very simple. By the time you are used to this, it can take you like 10 minutes to do that. So I'll now go ahead to affix my measurements. I will impute my measurements. So my bust is 43 inches. So I'm going to divide it by 4 because this is the front measurement and the front measurement is also unfold. By 4, I think it is around 10.75. I have input that. Then I'll go ahead and impute my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. I've imputed that. So after imputing, you can go ahead and join the lines with your curve. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to this channel. Encourage your sister by subscribing to the channel. After doing that, we go ahead and impute our dart measurements. We impute our darts. So I normally use 0.5 inches for the dart on both sides. So I'm trying to impute my dart measurements. Before we go over to the dart, let's impute our chest line. To determine your chest line, you use your bust measurement. You divide the bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 to get your chest line, because it is actually on the chest line that you will join your armhole. You cannot join your armhole on the bust line, it will gape. So that's the chest line. I'm gonna have to draw the line of the chest bar above the bust line. So I'll now go ahead and join the armhole to the chest line. As you can see, you join your. So after that, we go right into the darts. You go and impute the darts using your nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is 8, and because it's unfold, I will use 4. Using the inches part of my ruler, I'll mark the 4 from the center front. Mark the 4 from the center front. After marking it, you draw a straight line. from this straight line that you now impute your darts. I normally use 0.5 inches for my darts, but whatever works for you. If you are very curvy, you can go ahead and use 1 inch on both sides or 1.5 inch, but personally I always use 0.5 and it always works for me. After marking your 0.5 inches, go ahead and join them on the lines there to make up your darts. Remember, if you are also working with your hip measurement here, it will be below the waist. You will now extend your darts to your hips, but because for the purpose of this tutorial, I need only the upper bodice block stopping on my waist. Some people do the upper bodice blocks that stop to the hip, so you extend your dart line from the waist down to your hip. So using the same pattern paper, I'll go ahead to mark out my back measurements. As you did for the back, that is how you're also going to do for the front. I'll mark out then I'll go ahead and mark out my center back. That is what I'm marking out there, the center back. You ask how I got this line. I always use the highest part of my measurements. So I'll go ahead and mark out the points, the vertical points, the bust, the under bust, the waist. I've gone ahead to label it. I will now go ahead and draw out these lines so that you can see them. But right at this back, I'm marking out my measurements so that I can mark them out. By the time I finish marking them out, I just join them immediately. That's that there. So I'm using my curve. You always use your curve to join. Don't use your ruler, because we are not straight. We are somehow curved. So I also mark out my under bust. I'll now go ahead and mark out my shoulder slope and my neck depth. For the back, I always use 2 by 2. Anything that works for you. You can still make adjustments from your pattern, but the most important thing is for you to have the pattern. So I'll mark out my neck depth 2 by 2. Then that's my shoulder slope there. I'll mark out the shoulder. So you still go ahead from your center back, you mark out your nipple to nipple measurements. That is what you use and insert your darts. Your nipple to nipple measurements, you insert your darts. After inserting your darts, I think we shall go ahead to determine our chest line too. From the shoulder slope, my chest line is 8.6 inches, and I mark it. Let's join the lines. 8.6 inches is my. Now join my armhole. I draw my armhole using my curve to the chest line, like so. That is it here. So this is my front and my back blocks on the same pattern paper. I'll now go ahead and cut out the patterns and label it. And label my patterns. So you can see the 2 patterns there, the front block and the back block. That is how it looks like. So some people have to cut out their darts. I don't do that. Thank you so much for watching my video.